The $10 billion James Webb Telescope is about to change everything we know about the universe because we already have the very first images from the telescope that are more significant than you might think. The James Webb Space Telescope reached another alignment milestone, and we finally have the clearest image of a star to date. It was more than 20 years ago when the team behind the telescope set out to build out the most powerful telescope that anyone has ever put into space, and today that decision is going to deliver so many surprises, including answers to the mysteries of the cosmos. The images from the James Webb Telescope are unlike any other images we've ever captured. That is because the James Webb Telescope has got a complex mirror alignment stage called fine phasing. But then you might think, why exactly does a space telescope require mirrors in the first place? Well, to find the answer to that, you need to stick around till the end of the video, because these images might have greater significance when it comes to helping the scientists with the deeper understanding of the cosmos. As a part of a process called alignment stage, fine phasing, which we mentioned earlier, the James Webb Telescope captured an image of a bright star that is located about 2,000 light years away from Earth, along with numerous other galaxies and stars visible in the background. Just in February 2022, the James Webb Space Telescope captured its first set of images with its middle segments of a more closely located star in the Ursa Major constellation. But wait a second, what exactly is the James Webb Space Telescope? Well, you might have this question if this is your first time hearing about the James Webb Space Telescope. But no worries, we got you covered. The James Webb Telescope is an infrared space observatory that was launched on Christmas Day in 2021, and this space telescope happens to be, by far, NASA's largest and most powerful space telescope ever built that would be orbiting the Sun to uncover the history of the universe all the way from the Big Bang and beyond. It took about 30 days for the James Webb Telescope to travel nearly 1 million miles, or about 1.5 million kilometers, and it is now at the Lagrange Point 2, which is a gravitationally stable location in space. The telescope is at a spot near the Earth that lies opposite from the Sun. This way, it will allow the telescope to stay in line with Earth as it orbits the Sun. Fun fact, the James Webb Space Telescope was previously known as the Next Generation Space Telescope, and it was in 2002 that the name was changed to James Webb Space Telescope to honor James Webb, who led NASA during the Apollo program. Yes, 2002! Which means the team behind the telescope has been working for so long to make this a reality. So what exactly is the purpose of the James Webb Telescope? Well, according to NASA, this gigantic space telescope will be focusing on 4 main areas. Firstly, the space telescope will be studying the first light in the universe right after the Big Bang. The telescope will also study the assembly of galaxies in the early universe, along with studying the stars and protoplanetary systems and planets, which means that this space telescope might help us find the origins of life and what lies beyond our planet. Maybe this telescope could hold the key for something much bigger, and that would change everything, because with this telescope, we might learn that we are not the only life forms in the cosmos. The biggest news is the fact that we already have the first few images from the telescope. If you take a look at it, these are not the best images that the telescope is capable of producing, and we expect this telescope to take absolutely stunning images of the celestial objects, just like the Hubble Space Telescope. On February 11, 2022, NASA announced that the James Webb Space Telescope had captured its very first images of a star called the HD 84406. You might think the James Webb Space Telescope will be capturing images like how you do with your iPhone. Well, that's exactly not how it is, and things are quite different when it comes to a space telescope. The James Webb Telescope has a set of 18 mirror segments that are located on the primary mirror, which will then result in a mosaic of 18 scattered bright dots. These mirrors need to be aligned to get better images that are key to unlocking the hidden details about our universe. Fast forwarding to February 18, 2022, NASA then released a new and improved image of the HD 84406, and this time around, the 18 unfocused copies of a star are properly aligned into a single photograph with the help of a process called image stacking. If you think you are completely obsessed with selfies, well, you're not alone. Even the James Webb Telescope took an impressive selfie with a specialized camera inside the near-infrared camera, and this camera is designed to be used for alignment purposes, along with few engineering applications. If you look at the image closely, you could find that one of the middle segments is shining brighter than the others. This is because this particular mirror segment is pointing at a star, and the rest of the mirror segments are not properly aligned. So to get a crystal clear infrared image, the aligning process was necessary, so the first images are a lot more significant for the team behind the telescope. The next step after the first images would be to finish the alignment process, which can take about 6 months, and in the meantime, we already have the Hubble Space Telescope doing its thing. The James Webb Telescope might be considered to be the successor of the Hubble Space Telescope, but right now, both of these space telescopes are working together, at least for the first few years of the James Webb Telescope. The James Webb Telescope will also be observing several exoplanets and studying its atmosphere to discover other life forms far away from our solar system. The James Webb Telescope will be operational for 5 years, according to NASA, but the goal is 10 years or even more. If you think the James Webb Telescope is just a product of NASA, well, that is not the case, because this telescope is a result of an impressive international collaboration between the European Space Agency, the Canadian Space Agency, and of course, NASA. The James Webb Space Telescope is a collective effort of 300 universities, organizations, and companies across 29 U.S. states and 14 different countries. Which is just incredible because so many countries are uniting for a common goal, and that goal is to study more about what lies beyond our own planet and also to uncover the mysteries of our universe. Both the James Webb Space Telescope and Hubble Space Telescope have two different capabilities. The Hubble Space Telescope is all about observing the universe in optical and ultraviolet wavelengths with some infrared capabilities, but the James Webb Telescope will be looking at the universe in infrared wavelength, and there's a very good reason for that. The light from distant objects shifts to longer wavelengths at the redder end of the spectrum, which is known as red shifting, due to the expansion of the universe. So, if scientists and astronomers need to study more about the universe, they need to study this infrared light in great detail, which is why the James Webb Telescope was primarily designed to look at the universe in infrared wavelength. The James Webb Telescope is undoubtedly the most powerful telescope ever to be launched in space, and it's just the beginning of something new. Maybe we might finally learn that we are not the only life form in this universe, and there might be so many other life forms similar to ours, or completely different to what we have on our planet. We also have so much to learn about the vast universe, and learning about what lies beyond our planet will give us more clues about our position in the entire universe and how truly insignificant we are compared to the vastness of the cosmos. NASA clearly stated that these very first images were sample photos to see how the James Webb's 18 mirror segments work, and as of now, these are not supposed to be an official scientific observation. NASA stated that the James Webb Telescope will not be able to capture crystal clear images for a few more months. But the James Webb Telescope is on its way to capturing some that will give us more insights to our scientific understanding of the universe.